Hi, my name is Keith. I'm outside of Honolulu, Hawaii, in the suburbs of Honolulu. I am feeling very grateful. I'm excited, and I do want to mention for those of you who aren't aware of this is that we've been doing GPS now. This is the third year, and this is the first time we're doing a session like this with translation and simultaneous translation. I'm really excited for that Letitia is doing this. This is like a milestone, so I'm just excited about this. Really great.
Anyone else? Oh, my computer stopped. I don't know what's going on, but it's frozen. So I'm using my cell phone to speak. So that's why I have two images. So I'm going to start now. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, Luigi, can you explain how they go to the simultaneous translation?
Yes. Bom, primeiramente, boa noite a todos. A aula já vai estar em português, então se você estiver ouvindo em português, você não precisa mexer em nada. Eu vou explicar só para os americanos como fazem para ouvir em inglês. So, good night, everyone. So, to hear the audio in English, what you need to do is on the bottom right of your computer, you see an icon looking like a globe saying interpretation. If you are on your cell phone, there's the three dots on the bottom right. You click on the three dots, there'll be the same icon in there. Once you click on the interpretation icon, you see the option English. So you just click on English and you'll be hearing the audio in English. Ok, pode continuar.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Ok. Então agora eu vou falar em português e a Ana vai ser a minha voz em inglês.
So now I'm going to speak English and Ana is going to be, I'm going to speak Portuguese and Ana is going to be my voice in English. Before we start, we will have moments to share, to make questions, and we will always be together to do that in the same room. I will make a summary of what is Pathwork, and it is a methodology of self-knowledge that was channeled by Eva Pierakos, and it's a process that, for me, it unifies psychology and spirituality. It is the deepest knowledge that I've known, and I've been in this path for more than 20 years. And this class will be about one of the layers of life and the layer about Earth. And it's part of a program that has been offered by Mid-Atlantic Seven Oaks, based on the mandala created by Susan Senga. And this mandala represents the evolution of human beings going through all the incarnating process and then taking in the process of becoming one. So a presenter was chosen for each layer of the mandala, and today I'm going to present the lecture 5 that talks about happiness for yourself and happiness as a link in the string of life. So how do you get to the layer of Earth? So now I'm going to talk briefly how we got here. So Luigi is going to share the slide right now.
para mostrar isso para
I'm
você.
going to spend about 1 to 2 minutes to explain this to you. So there are many layers.
For you to listen to see the slides in English, what you need to do, you see on the top of your screen, there'll be view options, and there's like an arrow down. Once you click on that, there'll be the same English option as the translation. And then you're going to be seeing the slides in English. Ok, pode continuar.
Então, a camada da máscara,
So the layer of the mask correspond to the outside appearance. And my husband made an analogy today. It's like the world map where you have the countries and the cities. So this is the map for our soul journey. So starting with the first layer is the brown one. It's the layer number 1. This is our self-image, the one that we have internally. This is the image that I wish to project to the world, the image that I think I need to have to gain what I want. It's how I tend to fulfill my needs without showing my vulnerability. I don't want to be vulnerable, so I use this mask to gain what I want. It's a solution that we find for the pain that we don't want to feel or demonstrate.
Eu preciso até que a Ana me dê feedback se eu estou indo muito rápido, Ana. Então, só mais uma fala sobre a máscara, que é uma das
So one more thing about the mask, which is one of the main layers that we work on. It is a solution for a short term, because in a long term, we actually lose our identity as we use these masks that we create. And many times we don't really know who we are anymore. And the second layer is the layer of the mind. This is where our thoughts, our beliefs, the images that we have about ourselves, the others, and life, or it's like the duality that we usually meet. So one is right and the other is wrong. It's life or death. And the other layer is about the emotion. What are my emotions? How were they buried in myself? The emotions they were like contained in our infancy, our childhood. And sometimes they could be also emotions that we bring from past lives for the ones that believe in that. The next one is the body layer. In the body, there is no exclusion like the mind proposes. It's in the body is life and death, not life or death. Now it's good and bad, right and wrong. It's acceptance or rejection. It's loser and winner, upset and happy. I see myself as a separate being from the other ones in this layer of the body. The next one is the human layer. All of our bodies together that we bring to the humanity, that we are separated from, we understand that we come from this body, the layer of body, going to the human, that we are seen through love. It's a place that we don't need to defend ourselves in relation to the other ones. It's a place that we accept limitations and we have an equality as our reference, and we accept that we are all humans and imperfect beings. And from this place, we move to the layer of the earth. This is what I'm going to talk about tonight. And me personally, I feel like it's been very well represented with the lecture 5. There are 256 lectures, and the 5 really represents this layer well. And I'm going to invite you right now, before we start, to just do a little stretch so we can be present here. So I'm going to invite you to stretch your neck by just rolling it around 3 times each side, breathing in and breathing out as you go around. Now to the other side. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Let all your tension around your neck, let it go. Just let it go. Move your shoulders in a circle movement. Now we're going to do an exercise of 30 seconds. It's an exercise that I do every day before my meditation. It's a yoga exercise, but it brings us to our body. It's a grounding exercise, while it also opens our heart chakra. So we're going to do it for 30 seconds. We put our hands, the tip of our fingers in our shoulders. And we're going to take inhale and exhale. So she's going to show how we move. So if you can sit a little bit on the edge of your chair, so you have room to move without knocking anything down. So she's going to show, this is how we do it. So one side to the other, and you take an inhale and exhale as you move sides. You can start now. Take a deep breath and letting the air out with intention, in and out. Inhale and exhale strongly. Now come back. Close your eyes for a second, for a few moments. Feel this new energy in your body. Notice if you can feel this new energy, this new prana in your body. Now Luigi is going to show the next image. And while he's doing that, look at this image. And we're going to do a meditation, about 5 minutes. It's a meditation created based on this lecture. And I would like for you to feel the energy of this lecture. So after you've noticed and see this image, close your eyes. Take a deep breath through your nose. Let the air out through your mouth. So take a deep breath in through your nose. Let the air out through your mouth. And contract your abdomen as you're letting the air out. Repeat this breathe in and out with your eyes closed at least 3 times. Place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth
Coloque as mãos apoiadas no joelho.
Relax your lips.
Com as
Place your
palmas das
hands
mãos viradas para cima.
on your knees with your palms facing up.
E foque no terceiro olho.
Bring your attention to your third eye,
Localizado entre as sobrancelhas.
located
E
between your
receba as
eyebrows,
palavras do guia.
and receive the words of the guide.
Imagine que ao seu redor agora
Imagine that around
estão
you
os
at this
ajudantes
moment,
de Deus.
they're the helpers of God.
Acima de você,
And above
tem
you,
anjo
there's an
emanando
angel
a sua luz e o seu amor.
bringing to you
Abra
love and light. Open.
o chakra da coroa,
Open your crown chakra,
localizado no alto da cabeça,
located on the top of your head,
e permita
and
que
allow
essa energia
that this
penetre em
energy
você.
penetrate within you.
Sinta penetrando no alto da sua cabeça, pelo alto da
Feel
sua cabeça,
through the top of your
as
head,
bênçãos
this
de Deus.
penetrating the blessings of God.
O mundo espiritual de Deus
The spiritual world of God
deseja te ajudar a
wishes
crescer
to help you
espiritualmente,
in
na
growing
direção
spiritually
à alegria,
in the
à
direction of
harmonia e
happiness,
à iluminação.
harmony, and enlightenment.
E os espíritos de Deus
And the spirits of God,
tentam continuamente
they
estender
continually
suas mãos
try to extend their
para
hands
ultrapassar a etapa
to make
na
you
qual
overcome
você está encontrando dificuldades
the
ou
times that you're
lutando
finding
o seu
difficulty
desenvolvimento no caminho da
or
perfeição.
fighting for your perfection.
O homem dificilmente vê ou
Man
sente
hardly
os ajudantes
ever
espirituais
feel,
de
see,
Deus à
or
sua
hear
volta.
the spiritual helpers of
Os
God around
ajudantes
you.
de Deus
And the helpers of God
só podem te ajudar,
can only help you.
não podem te obrigar.
They cannot make you do anything.
O homem,
Man,
você,
you
deve decidir abrir a porta
must
e
decide
sentirá a
to
ajuda
open the door,
como uma realidade
and you will
palpável.
feel the help as a tangible reality.
Abre espaço no seu coração
Open a space in
para
your heart
compreender
to understand
a verdadeira felicidade.
what truly is
Aquilo
happiness.
que nos criou e criou o universo
What created us and the
é benigno
universe is benign
e quer a nossa plena felicidade.
and wants our happiness fully.
A minha tarefa é lhe dar
My
as
task
pistas
is to
através
give
das
you
palavras
the
para te
clues
despertar.
through the words to awaken you.
Se abra para escutar nessa palestra o que
Open
aqueceu
yourself up
a você
to
nesse
listen
momento.
during this lecture. What talks to you at this
Mas
in this
para
moment?
isso, você tem que ter o desejo.
But for that, you need
Tente
to
encontrar
want.
no seu íntimo o desejo
Try
de
to
entender
find
o que é a
within
verdadeira
yourself
felicidade.
the wish to understand what is true happiness.
E aos poucos
Now,
vá voltando,
little by little, slowly start coming back.
vá mexendo as seus pés, suas mãos.
Gently
sentindo
move
seu
your
corpo.
feet, your legs, your hands. Gently feel your body, your whole self.
Eu vou. Eu esqueci de pedir que cada trouxesse papel e caneta.
I forget to ask each one of you to bring a piece of paper or pen. If you don't have, I would like to ask you to kindly get some. We will be doing some written activities.
Luíde, você pode passar o próximo slide, por favor? Eu queria que cada escrevesse
I'd like to ask
o
you
conceito
to
de
write
felicidade.
what is the concept of happiness
O
for
que
you?
você quer felicidade? O que é felicidade para você?
What do you think is happiness? What is happiness for you?
E eu vou dar 2 minutinhos para poder escrever.
And I will give you about 2 minutes to write that down.
Então, vamos começar. Luíde, você pode colocar o próximo slide, por
So
favor?
let's start again.
Então, o que
So the slides have many texts. This class is being recorded, and this will bring a good reference, but I will not necessarily be following exactly what is in there. What the guide brings in this lecture is that the spirits of God wish that we simply evolve and be happy. And all the time, they're just by us extending their hands to assist us in overcoming the difficulties that we encounter as we go through the path of perfection. Each one of us came here to do that, but they can't make us do anything. They can only help us. And that is the exercise of our free will. But sometimes we don't see them, we don't hear them, we don't realize they are around us offering their help because we don't pay attention, because we didn't learn how to pay attention. We learn that what is worth is the material world, this material world. What the guy brings in this lecture is that the spiritual world is in fact a lot more real than the physical world that we see. But we learned how to believe in the things of the material world, the beliefs and believing the values of the material world. It's like if we turn our back to the spiritual world. We don't practice this dialogue, this relationship with it. And even the people that are faithful in God, that are very religious, even if those people, sometimes even that person doesn't realize that her disbelief closes that door. And we actually choose a different path, and he uses the expression of, silly reasons. Because of silly reasons, we actually move away from the world of God. We end up going to dead ends when we choose a different path other than the path of the spiritual world, the path of creating a relationship with the world of God. And he says that is usually the root of our mental illnesses and physical as well. Our physical body usually shows what our emotional selves are feeling. And we usually take that path because that was the path that we learned to take. And the result of taking that path is dissatisfaction, is sadness, and that is usually because of the rejection of this help coming from God. I want to share with you that when I was about 12 years old, I received a gift that my mom used to send me to gatherings in our church, reunions. So since very little, I had this proximity of the spiritual with the spiritual world. When I was 12, another girl about my age, she was the pastor's daughter at the time. She did an exercise with me that changed my life. It was an exercise about me imagining that I had a door in my heart and that I opened it and I asked God to walk into that door. And it makes me very emotional just talking about it because I started flying. I remember it was a sensation of plenitude, of really flying. So I've always had this relationship with God since then. I would go to church every day. It was next to my house. I would light up candles, and I developed this daily conversation with God. And I'm bringing a little bit of my own experience because it makes it easier for me to explain it to you. That although I have this deep relationship with God since very little, I also had deep pain in relation to my family. And I'm getting emotional right now, but it's a challenge for me to be here exposing myself, but I'm going to take a deep breath. So my dad is Italian and my mom is German, and my dad lived through the war times. And I was raised in a wealthy family in Brazil, but was very dual as well, because one day I had everything and the other day I didn't. I used to live in a very luxury condo. My dad had a very fancy car, Mercedes, but often he wouldn't pay the school tuition or the electricity bill. So that was the kind of conflict that I had in my daily life growing up. Sometimes there were times that I would be removed from my class because in front of my classmates, because my dad would not pay the tuition and the principal would just say it in front of everyone. So I had this feeling and this pain of less worth. This feeling made me seek this wish of wanting money, of having the means to save my family. And why am I talking about this? Because the guy talks about in this lecture that our motivations, our internal motivations related to our matters not worked on, they usually are the cause that take us away from the path to God. So I had this relationship, this deep relationship with God, but even then, I seeked, I dedicated myself to work, to gain status, to have money and power, to soothe this pain from my childhood.
Meditação, mas eu acho que eu vou fazer daqui a pouco.
I thought about doing meditation, but I will do that in a little bit. Luigi is just checking if she asked Luigi to pass the slide so she can check if she missed anything. Just making sure I'm not leaving anything important behind.
Ser reconhecido para progredir e encontrar a satisfação. Acho que eu já falei, você pode passar para o próximo. Então ele fala, né, que o resultado disso é a tristeza.
So he says that the choice of, soothing this pain, the result is, sadness. So a friend of mine asked me, "Are you happy?" So right now I do. I feel very happy nowadays in my life pathwork. So what changed my story is that the work that I did with Pathwork and this program of self-transformation, as I healed my own pains and hurts. So my work where I had a lot of money, success, and was very unhappy and dissatisfied, then I realized that I wanted to help others. I wanted to help the world like I was helped through the Pathwork work. So that's what the guide says, right? That he's there to show us the way. And he says that the channel to happiness is to be a channel with God, to have this relationship with God. That's where our true happiness is when we are as a channel for God.
Então passa para o próximo slide, por favor, Luigi. Eu acho que vou fazer esse exercício com vocês.
So now we're going to do this
Eu vou
exercise.
propor esse exercício, que é esse exercício que essa menina fez comigo.
That's the
Só que
exercise that
baseado na palestra do
my
dia
friend
de hoje.
did with me, but actually based in the lecture that we are studying
Então,
today.
eu vou pedir que vocês fechem os
So
olhos
now I ask you to
novamente,
close your eyes again.
que é para vocês sentirem a palestra, porque essa
So it's for
palestra, na
you to
verdade, ela
feel this lecture,
ela
that
tem
although
muito
this
conteúdo e a
lecture
gente vai ver
has a lot of
conteúdo,
content and we're going to
é
see
só
it,
de sentir.
it is
É
a
pra
lecture
gente
to
sentir essa
feel.
presença divina. E essa é
It's for
minha
us to
proposta
feel
para
this
vocês.
divine presence. And that is what I want you. That's what I want tonight for you. That's what
Lu,
I'm
você pode colocar
proposing.
uma musiquinha. Eu não estou escutando, a música tá boa? Ok. Então, eu vou pedir para cada um para fechar os olhos.
So I'll ask each one of you to close your eyes, put your feet on the floor, straighten up your back, breathe through your mouth,
Inspirando pelo nariz,
sorry,
desculpa, e soltando pela
through
boca.
your nose. Inhale through your nose and let the air out through your mouth.
Então, imagine que no seu coração
Imagine that in your heart there's a door,
e essa porta tem uma maçaneta.
and that
Que só
is in
pode
this door
ser
there's a
aberta
knob
por dentro.
that can only be opened through the inside. You can only turn this knob through
Do
the
lado de
inside.
fora,
From the outside of this
Deus
door,
está batendo e pedindo para
God
entrar.
is knocking and asking to come in.
Ele quer te mostrar como é viver no mundo de Deus.
He wants to show you how it is to live in the world
Mas ele
of
não
God,
pode abrir essa porta.
but He
Apenas você
can't
pode.
open this door. Only you can.
Observe se você deseja abrir essa porta.
Notice if you
Se ainda tiver
want
alguma
to
resistência,
open this door.
não se obrigue.
If you encounter any
Apenas
resistance,
reconheça que ela existe.
don't open the door. Just
E peça
recognize the
ajuda
resistance.
para ultrapassar essa etapa.
Ask for help to overcome this step.
Se houver sim,
If there is a yes,
pegue essa maçaneta.
touch the doorknob
Você o movimento
and make you the
da
movement
porta.
to open the
E
door
peça a ele que entre.
and
Seu
invite
coração.
him Ask Him
Fale com as suas
to
palavras.
enter into your heart with your own words.
Eu vou ler algumas
I'm
partes
going to read
Peço que você continue de olhos fechados.
some
escute
parts of the
essas
lecture
palavras.
right now, and I ask you
São
to keep your eyes
palavras
closed
que o guia diz
as I do
como a
it.
gente deve
These are
se
words
dirigir a Deus.
that the guide show and where the guide shows us and how to talk to God, how to refer to God.
Eu não consigo senti-lo, querido
I
Jesus.
can't feel you, dear Lord.
Quero ser feliz,
I want
mas para não
to be
manter
happy,
felicidade, eu
but
quero
to
ser
sustain this happiness, I want to be a link.
o que o Senhor me der.
Whatever
Quero
you give
comunicar
me,
aos outros de alguma maneira.
I want to communicate to the others in some way,
Mesmo que eu tenha que fazer sacrifícios,
even if I have to make sacrifices.
talvez sacrificar algum desejo do meu ego.
Perhaps sacrificing a wish from my own ego.
Por favor, mostre-me como
Please
posso
show
transformar
me
o que me dá
how
em
I
algo
can transform
que eu
what you
possa
give me,
transmitir aos outros.
that I can give to others, that I can communicate to others.
Deixe que esses pensamentos
Let
criem
these
raízes na
thoughts
sua alma,
create roots in your soul
até que ele assuma uma forma espiritual,
until they
penetrando as
become a
emoções,
spiritual form, penetrating in your emotions.
então vocês terão as condições,
And
a
then
lei
you will
espiritual envolvida
have the
passará
conditions
a ter efeito benéfico
and the law
que
of
será
the
a
divine
verdadeira felicidade interior.
will have the effect internally of what truly is happiness.
Você receberá e transmitirá aos outros.
You will receive and communicate to others and give to others.
Sinta-se agora como adaptador vivo de Deus.
Feel yourself right
que
now
só
as an
precisa
adapter
ter o
of
fluxo
God
da felicidade viva.
that only needs to keep the current of happiness alive.
Ser humano que funciona como elo de ligação
The guide says that the human
em retorno
that
100
works as a
vezes
link
mais do que se
of
pensa.
happiness will receive 100 times what it gives. And God will show you how you can give. But each one of us need to be willing to do it, wanting to do it.
Aos poucos vá voltando.
Little by little, start coming back to the now, feeling as this live adapter of God.
Luíde, você pode passar para o próximo slide, por favor? Hum, eu vou ver se tem algum trecho que eu não comentei ainda, que eu quero passar por um exercício com vocês. Então, o que ele fala é que sempre que a gente tiver definido os objetivos,
So he says that every time we have defined objective goals, and these goals are selfish, we might not gain what we want. And even if we want it, if we do gain it, the effects will be very short term. So at times we achieve what we want, but we are not happy. So wishing the external happiness, we will never be able to be happy, truly. He says that our lower self are not resolved matters. They push us in a different direction to our emotions. So my pains and my emotions from my childhood pushed me to a place of working, but for money, success, and status. That's why it's so important, the self-knowledge, especially to meet and know God, so we can clean our own questions. Now we're going to do an exercise complementing the first one. That is, I wish happiness because I want to be happy, or is it because a secondary need? So, for example, I didn't want to make money in the past because of the freedom it brings to me. And in fact, the freedom that the money brought me allowed me to do my work with Pathwork for 20 years. But that wasn't my true wish. Back then, I wanted the money for power, for status, was to heal my pain of low self-worth that I had, to fulfill this feeling of inferiority. So this exercise is for you to reflect on if your wish for happiness, if within it there is a secondary need. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write about it. While you're finishing up, I will share a little bit that we will be doing an activity in pairs where you will be able to share what you wrote about your concept of happiness. If you notice any feelings around the secondary need, and your experience with the meditation of the portal to the heart. So you have the option to join. So when you're in the room, you have 3 minutes. Each person will have 3 minutes to share, and it will let you know when it's time to switch turns during the sharing. We're going to let you know when it's time to switch through the chat box. So now I will open the breakout rooms.
Vai, capaz. Espera, por favor.
Ana, tá. o-
Eu vou lá da Joana.
Ô, Cláudia, é porque tá todo mundo em breakout rooms. Você entrou no meio, a gente já vai voltar, tá? Bem-vindos de volta todos.
Welcome back, everyone.
A gente vai voltar agora todo mundo para a mesma sala.
Now we're going to be in the same room, everyone, and I will ask you to share, if you would like, how you're feeling, how was the experience for you. We'll still have about 15 minutes left. Actually, before we come together, I would like to share about this link that the link talks about, this link of God. I need the slide 13. So she's asking Luigi to do that.
Então,
So
Just to remember, if you want to see the slides in English, on the top of your screen, there will be the view options. You click on the arrow and then you see the English. Pode ir lá.
então,
so
eu entendi o resumo dessa palestra.
the way I understood the summary of this lecture is that we are this live link. It's like adapter of God, that this is the path to happiness. And he says that the human that is in this position, that receives 100 times more than what he gives, and that God will always show us how we can be in this place. And now I will share a quick story with you that represented really well for me this link that the guy talks about. Then after this story, we'll gather everybody again. So I'd like to introduce you these two Brazilian men. They're spiritualists. Chico Xavier has 490 books that he channeled, and Edivaldo Franco has 270 books channeled by him. And I will share a story about the two of them that represents what what is to be this live adapter of God. So, Edivaldo Franco is a medium, and he's much younger than Chico Xavier. And in 1950s, about Chico Xavier and his friend, Edivaldo, had a friend in common. And this friend was a very disturbed person. And one night, Edivaldo Franco went to Chico's hometown, and he met this friend, Antonio, was the disturbed friend, and Edivaldo asked, "Brother Antonio, how are you?" And the friend answered, "I'm very well. I have big news that I want to share. Now, I am a medium, a healing medium, a person in the spiritual center in Brazil that gives healing pass to people in the center." So Antonio was actually doing that for Chico Xavier. Edivaldo was confused. How can a disturbed person can be a passista, a healing medium in Chico Xavier Spiritual Center? So when Edivaldo met Chico after that encounter with Antonio, he asked, "How can Antonio be treating you, giving you healing treatment?" So Chico answered, "Yes, Edivaldo. Antonio was here a few months ago, desperate, and he was saying bad words about leaving, feeling very bitter about life. And in a conversation with him, I asked him that he would give me a healing treatment." So Antonio answered, "Me? I have no conditions to give you any kind of healing treatment." So Chico told him, "Why not, my brother? You are a son of God. You are going through a dark night in life, but you are an extraordinary person. This will long be a past. Please give me the healing treatment." So Chico told Edvaldo that during the healing treatment, he saw the bad spirits, the dark souls. Chico could see the spirits, and he saw the dark spirits moving away from Antonio because Antonio was focused in giving Chico a healing treatment. So when those dark spirits, the shadows, went away, the beings of light were able to treat Antonio and get close to him. So from that day on, Antonio was able to heal himself and work in Chico's spiritual center, healing others. And he told Chico that he had never felt so good. So Chico said that when Antonio was disturbed, but when he put him at the service of God, to be a channel of God, to be with Chico and give him the healing treatment, so the bad spirits, the shadows, went away, and Antonio became this channel of God. So what I see of the most important about this lecture is that the happiness is in the place of being this live adapter of God, and that we need to want to be in this place. And that's the first step. And Him, God, will show us how we're going to be in that place. Because he said that is in action, in our actions, that he will show us the path. That's where the spiritual laws come to action. I will stop here. Our time is coming to an end. And now we're all going to come to the same room.
Eu queria abrir para a gente falar, quem quiser partilhar o que está sentindo, ou como foi a experiência.
I'd like for everyone to open,
E a Ana vai ter que traduzir.
to everyone to share how you're feeling, your experience, and I will translate in both languages. So if you're speaking English, I will translate to Portuguese. If you're speaking Portuguese, I will translate to English. So please speak slowly so I can translate. I thank you for doing that. So now we're going to open to everyone to share.
Você tá aqui agora, Ana.
Olá, hello.
Alguém quer falar? Alguém quer partilhar alguma coisa?
Anyone wants to share something, talk?
Hi, I'm Lori.
Eu sou a Lori.
Thank you.
Obrigada.
I felt it was very
senti-
positive
Ana, espera ela acabar a frase.
and very inspirational.
Speak phrase per phrase and then she translates.
I will wait for you to finish a sentence. Then I will
I thought it was
translate.
very positive and very inspirational. Thank you.
Essa é a Lori. Eu senti que foi muito positivo e muito inspirador. Muito obrigada.
Alguém mais quer falar alguma coisa? Anyone else?
Yeah, I can go. I found it, the meditation very helpful, and then the opportunity to share how what I had worked for most of my life was actually covering up what I really wanted and what I really want. And so it's just beautiful. Thank you.
Essa é a Kath, ela falou que a meditação foi muito bonita e ela percebeu que algo que ela vem trabalhando a vida inteira estava cobertando, na verdade. E foi muito bonito. Muito obrigada.
Eu sou a Ana Lima, e o que eu também gostaria muito de agradecer, porque eu tinha lido a palestra, eu fiquei com muitas dúvidas, mas, de fato, eu vou ter que reler agora com esse novo ponto de vista. A gente vê a felicidade sempre um ponto de vista egoísta para nós mesmos, o que é a felicidade para mim, e já voltando na palestra que eu tinha lido, eu percebo agora que com esse ponto de vista de sair dessa coisa do self, do egoísmo, e voltar para essa coisa da plenitude, né? Então, eu acho que vai ter uma outra visão muito mais interessante da palestra agora para mim. Tem um significado muito maior, amplo.
So, I am Ana Lima, and after this lecture, I feel that I need to read the lecture again because it has a different meaning coming from this place of plenitude and not selfishness. It's very different, and I want to read it again. Thank you.
A segunda parte da palestra, que a gente vai ver semana que vem, ele traz o conceito do nosso inconsciente, como que o nosso inconsciente atua.
The second part of the class that we'll see next week It talks about how our subconscious acts.
Em 2 semanas, aliás.
In 2 weeks, not next week, in 2 weeks.
Leticia, I'd like to share how beautifully you have presented what my soul's deepest longing has always been in the chain of happiness, to serve God. Like I feel so tender inside, and so grateful. Thank you.
Letícia, eu quero compartilhar o como você conseguiu expressar o que a minha alma vem buscando por tanto tempo. Eu me sinto bem acolhida por dentro e muito grata. Foi muito linda a forma como você apresentou. Muito obrigada.
Eu gostaria também de compartilhar algumas coisas. Meu nome é Fernanda.
Fê, fala frase por frase para ela ir traduzindo. Frase assim, sentença, para não ter que trazer toda a ideia.
Tá bom. Eu paro aqui, você quer...
Não, pode continuar.
Tá. Então, a primeira, eu gostei muito que o trabalho foi através da prática, porque eu aprendo muito mais com a prática do que escutar. Eu fico muito distraída na tela, então foi muito importante para mim a parte das meditações e da escrita. Aí eu quero continuar.
Eu sou a Fernanda. I'm Fernanda, and I would like to say that for me, being a hands-on kind of presentation was very important because that's how I work and I understand better. So having that helped me understand the content really well. That was very important.
Obrigada. E eu fiquei com uma dúvida, porque quando você fala da second agenda, sabe? Da outra, o que me faz feliz.
Secundário.
Isso, e o que por trás, né? Foi difícil para eu identificar isso. Eu poderia até fazer uma história, assim, mas eu não tenho certeza se ela realmente é verdade, sabe? Então, não sei se eu fiquei com essa dúvida, foi difícil para mim.
I have a doubt about happiness and a secondary need behind it. That was not very clear. I could talk more about it, but that's what I have right now.
Você quer trazer um pouco agora ou não, Fê?
Você que sabe.
Não sei se a gente tenha tempo, né?
Acho melhor, talvez, na parte do inconsciente, talvez.
Na próxima. Ok.
Tá bom,
We can go deeper in the next class. Okay.
Thank you so much. Leticia was beautiful, extremely practical, was very helpful. The meditation, as well as the finding the secondary need, was something I have never done before. So thank you so much, and look forward to the second part of the lecture. Namaste.
Letícia, a apresentação foi maravilhosa, muito prática. Isso me ajudou muito a entender, principalmente a refletir sobre a questão da necessidade secundária. E eu estou animada e já querendo saber mais sobre a segunda parte. Muito, muito obrigada. Namastê.
Leticia, I am profoundly impressed with how clearly you were able to communicate what is deep stuff. It was beautifully done. In a way, you almost modeled what I would want to be able to do for others. Thank you so much. It was a very profound hour and a half. Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Letícia, a sua apresentação foi muito profunda. Você conseguiu comunicar de uma forma muito clara, um conteúdo tão profundo e quase que dando um exemplo para a gente como fazer, como comunicar para o outro, né? Como saber o que eu tenho que comunicar para o outro. Muito, muito, muito obrigada.
Oi, Letícia. Para mim foi uma hora e meia de incríveis revelações, de portas abertas. Eu achei a imagem, o teu testemunho pessoal de abrir a porta do coração para Deus, que para mim é uma definição difícil. Foi de tremendo impacto. Eu tive um diálogo maravilhoso com a Ana, quando a gente fez os breakouts, e eu fico profundamente agradecido pelo tempo que você deu para a gente.
Letícia, a sua apresentação foi No, sorry, wrong language. Letícia, your presentation.
He can speak in English if he wants because he speaks English very well.
I know, I was surprised he did
I
it.
could, if you
Would
want,
you
I
like
can
to
repeat.
share in English,
Say in English.
Alvaro?
Sure. So I'll
Okay,
repeat.
thank you.
I'll
I
say
think
it
it
in
will be
English.
more authentic. It was so
All right.
beautiful.
No, all right. Thank you. No, I was the feeling I have is one of plenitude after this hour and a half that we just spent together. It's one of gratitude, of course, but it's one of possibilities too, because I was particularly impressed. It was particularly touching to me, the Leticia's personal testimony when she talked about her personal experience, in particular the image of opening up her heart to God, which to me is a very it's a definition that it's a loaded word for me, this word God. I always had trouble defining it, and this made it a totally different experience, and I'm very thankful to Leticia for giving us, for the gift she gave us.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here for me. I've learned more than everyone because I'm preparing this class since I don't know when, and I am connected during this class. I'm very connected with God. So the pleasure is mine.
Thank you so much. It was beautiful.
Obrigada. Obrigada a todos, queridos amigos que estão aqui. Obrigada a todos presentes de coração.
Thank you all for being here, my friends, from my heart.
E daqui 15 dias a gente continua o resto da aula, da palestra.
And we'll continue in 15 days.
Espero vê-los.
Bye-bye. Thank you
I hope
so
to
much.
see you
That
there.
was great.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Anna, too. Thanks for your